What is the only cryptocurrency that you should invest?
DogeCoin!
It's the people's currency, you know it's the best.
Please buy!
The most fun and ironic crypto, that is for sure.
So crypto!
We're taking DogeCoin to the moon.
to the moon!
And if a broker says,
listen, you can't get rich with Dogecoin,
say stonks. But even Daddy Elon knows it's the time to join.
Much fun!
Cause
Fate loves irony.
therefore we're passing Bitcoin soon.
Elon Gene Snoop!
Take this little puppy to the moon. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, never sell.
Much rich!
Buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more, it's doing well.
Such high!
Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, never sell.
Much value!
Rising, 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 I can tell.
Very trading!
Shut up and take my money. This meme coin is looking funny. Let's make history together. In Doge we trust.
Much trust!
Jump on the hype train, bros. Cause even Snoop Doge knows it's going up. Don't drop it when it's hot. Doge is the only cryptocurrency that you should invest.
DogeCoin!
It's the people's currency, you know it's the best.
Please buy!
The most fun and ironic crypto, that is for sure.
So crypto!
We're taking Dogecoin to the moon. Dogecoin to the moon. Dogecoin to the moon. Dogecoin to the moon. Dogecoin to the moon.
And beyond!
All right, welcome back to another episode of Dream Tanks TV and Mercy and Moria Madness. All right, legit, our stuff crashed, so like we're gonna just have to do it on YouTube because the program we were using, just the server just keeps crashing. We can't do nothing about that. So we'll do what we gotta do. So hope y'all doing good. All right, legit. So let's see if anybody's saying anything in the meantime. All right, legit.
Shore and based in the Bahamas. By moving the innovation onshore, it'll be easier to separate out the good actors from the bad actors. And we want to encourage the good actors, the innovators, while protecting the market from the bad actors. And I think a market structure legislation with clear definitions and fair rules will do that. I want to say additionally, we're excited about working with both the House and Senate on stablecoin legislation. I know Senator Haggerty introduced a bill today. This stablecoins really have the potential to ensure American dollar dominance internationally, to increase the usage of the U.S. dollar digitally as the world's reserve currency, and in the process create potentially trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. treasuries, which could lower long-term interest rates. So let me stop there, and I want to thank the chairman here today, Chairman Scott, Chairman Hill, Chairman Bozeman, Chairman Thompson. And I look forward to working with them as part of the administration to help turn President Trump's policy into reality. This was a week one priority for the administration, and we're excited that our counterparts in Congress are equally committed to ensuring American dominance in digital assets. I look forward to working with each of you. And with that, I want to say work with each of you in creating a golden age in digital assets. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chairman Scott. Thank you.
I think David represents promises made, promises kept. I love the campaign trail when President Trump was out there making promises, and we see today he's keeping those promises. And in so many ways, I think back to a kid as I was a long time ago, growing up in a single-parent household, mired in poverty, and hoping that the American dream would one day be accessible for me. I think that we're standing here today at the precipice of greatness for so many kids who are looking forward to democratization, having access points for their families and for themselves that makes it easier and less expensive to do business in this country. I love the concept that we see today, synergy within the administration, the House, and the Senate, focusing not on ourselves, but focusing on working class Americans who desperately need to reduce their prices and increase their access. That's what the bicameral working group will help tackle. I have a pre-existing working friendship with GT and French and John. And the good news is we come together already having proven the ability to work together to get things done for the American people. It's an exciting time to be an American. And as David said, the golden age has begun. In the House and the Senate, with the White House leading the way. Next, you'll hear from Chairman French Hill.
Chairman French Hill, what's up, guys? Smash the likes, subscribe, let's go. This is super bullish.
Coming to Capitol Hill to celebrate with.
Let's see, Glitter Marshmallow says, here we go. Let's see what happens.
For both a stablecoins bill and a regulatory framework that will bring clarity to digital assets in the United States so that we are the land of opportunity, the land of innovation that we have been for decades in so many other technologies. We don't want to be behind in financial technology and digital assets in the United States, but our innovators, as David Sachs reported, need clarity. They need to know what the rules of the road are, and that's why I'm excited to be here today.
Give
to
the
share
clarity.
This announcement that we're forming a working group on a bicameral basis between the House Financial Services Committee, the Senate Banking Committee, the House Agriculture Committee, and the Senate Agriculture Committee to make progress on that clarity for a regulatory framework and to create and structure a stablecoins bill that will lend itself to advancing America as the reserve currency of the world. This is a big issue.
So far, it seems very
Bicameral
focused on
support this
stablecoin.
year is dynamic because last year in the 118th Congress, we had success on a bipartisan basis in the House on both stablecoin legislation moving out of the House Financial Services Committee and for the regulatory framework moving across the House floor with a strong bipartisan vote. 71 Democrats joined House Republicans in moving that policy forward. So in my view, with the wind at our back of a leader like President Trump, who knows that financial innovation, financial technology is where America's heart is, where our entrepreneurs' heart are, our hearts are, that will lead from the executive branch, and now with this bicameral partnership with Senate Agriculture and Senate Banking, along with our House committees, I look very, very forward to the success we're going to have in the 119th Congress. And let me ask my good friend from Arkansas, a fellow Razorback, the chairman of the House Ag Committee, John Bozeman.
The Chairman Powell.
We're all
Yeah,
still
well,
excited about
no
the
talk
big
of any
Kentucky
crypto.
win. So it's good to be with you all. We've been working hard on this for the last 3 years, and we've had our ups and our downs. When we started working on it, crypto was gaining popularity, and then with Sam
Shutting it down.
Bankman-Fried and other things, it seemed like perhaps it was in trouble. It's rebounded, though, and is bigger than ever. So our goal is to make sure that consumers are protected, make sure that the industry, in order for it to grow and be able to offer all of the things that it does offer to the various disciplines that are out there, whether you're a bank or whether you're investing a client's money for their retirement or whatever, you've got protections, there's structure in it, and it will allow the industry itself, because it is regulated, people can have confidence in that, to grow. It's a little different than our normal situations in the sense we've got these jurisdiction things. So I'm the chairman of Ag. You know, why am I here? Because we have the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and some assets are commodities, some are securities. So the SEC has jurisdiction over the securities, CFTC has jurisdiction over the other. So the idea that
This guy
we're
sounds like
working
Biden.
together, again, we've all been working separately. We've made progress over the last several years, but working together now with purpose, and then also having the White House, having the czar over here, again, to visit with him and really set up a structure so that we can get a final structure to make this thing work is very, very important. So I appreciate Senator Scott, I think, really coming up with that idea. And I think it's a good one, and we're looking forward to actually get some things accomplished in the next several months.
Yeah, that guy sounded just like Biden. Spoke at the Biden.
Good
face.
afternoon, everyone. I'm Congressman G.T. Thompson, chair of the House Agriculture
Sure,
Committee.
Powell.
And this is what we're doing today is sort of the next step and what will be a milestone, which will be a great accomplishment for our country.
Keep
You know,
smashing the
America
likes.
really was a leader when it came to Internet 1.0, right? It was the Internet of knowledge. And the Internet 2.0, again, it was America that led that for the world, not just for our citizens, but for the world. And that was the Internet of things. And then Internet 3.0 is what we're talking about today, and that's the Internet of value. And we're approaching it in a principled way. You know, my colleagues here mentioned a couple of those. Number one, do no harm. You know, protect consumers, provide that regulatory structure, that certainty, both for the industry, but quite frankly for the consumers as well. And secondly is foster innovation, because the opportunities are just really are unimaginable. Well, what I believe is that whatever's over the horizon is going to be very, very exciting. So I'm really
What is this guy
first
even
of all, just very
saying?
thankful to President Trump for his historic efforts to bring regulatory clarity to the digital assets markets. His leadership with the work that David Sachs is going to lead on his behalf is is going to be a game changer for American competitiveness in the global race to build the new economy. The president could not have picked a better person to helm his AI and digital asset efforts. David brings a wealth of experience in exploring new technologies and building successful businesses to this new role.
Put me on this committee. President Trump, put me on this committee. These people, what are they even saying? The opportunities. What?
Let's see, Jolitos, that's nasty red candles. Crying, no, it's all good, brother. We can recover real fast. No worries. It's all good. It's all good.
Advance this issue. We worked incredibly well last Congress together alongside Patrick McHenry, and I'm excited to build on that work together. I also want to congratulate our newly elevated Senate colleagues, Chairman Bozeman and Chairman Scott. Perhaps there's no one more pleased than me to be able to say Chairman Bozeman. John and Tim and their members are going to bring a wealth of talent and expertise to this discussion from the Senate majority. We did incredible work in the House last Congress in the 118th, and I'm proud of the efforts that went into our historic vote on Fit 21. I'm equally excited to have these partners and a new administration in place to be able to finish the job. I'm thrilled to lead House Agriculture Committee members as we work with this incredible team to put a bill on President Trump's desk. And I think at this point we're going to be in a position to take a few questions.
What is this? Is this just like jerking each other off here? Like, what? Can I ask a question? What the hell? Can we get Sachs back on?
I wanted to start off, you're talking about legislation. Can you talk a little bit about Fit 21 last time, the bill that you're trying to introduce again? What differences are you going to see now that we have the trifecta in Washington?
Well, thanks, Emily. We did do good work, good, strong bipartisan work on Fit 21, which was the clarity for a market structure bill. That bill, I think, had the basics for the exact bill that we'll propose to introduce again in the 119th Congress. There may be some modest changes, but it had bipartisan support. We did a lot of work in our markup and in the floor preparation for it in both the Ag Committee under Dusty Johnson leadership and G.T. Thompson's leadership and in House Financial Services. So on the regulatory framework bill, that'll be the approach that the House takes. On stable coins, I think you'll see us have a bill that's very similar to the approach that's been taken in the Senate. Recently, Senator Hagerty's introduced legislation. That bill was closer to the original proposal that Patrick McHenry put in place early in the 118th Congress, and I think you'll see the House expose a draft for stable coins that would be similar to the approach taken by Senator Hagerty. But let me ask GT or to comment or Tim.
Could you actually comment?
I established this year a digital asset subcommittee so that we could take a deep dive into market structure as well as stable coins. Good news is stable coins led by Bill Hagerty on the Senate side out already today. We've seen Cynthia Lummis as a co-sponsor. Market structure is a place where you have left and right leaning in. We have members from Gillibrand and Lummis working together in the past, now working together.
We don't care who's working on it.
Coming to the table.
What are you working on?
Create the framework for the Senate so that we can harmonize Fit 21, the parts that we see as a path forward to a signature into law. So the good news is, from my perspective, having the Digital Asset Subcommittee really working on the market structure at the same time, simultaneously having Bill Hagerty lead the conversation around stable coins, having that bill out for us to take a look at, and there will be an amendment process, will be a part of that for us, and then hopefully very quickly we'll see the House, they're working on it as well, so we'll have a legislation that's able to go to the President's desk.
What legislation? What are you working on?
Let me just say I'm very proud of the work that we did in 118.
Are you, sir? Are you very proud? You've been saying that.
And that was done in, you heard others talk about, we had Republicans and Democrats certainly in committee and on
That's
House
great.
floor, significant vote.
We all
achieved,
like that.
But I like to say we achieved that in a tripartisan way. We worked in bringing the industry, bringing key stakeholders to the table. And so I look forward to, quite frankly, on working with my colleagues here and President Trump to, to continue that process of refining what we do, whether it's market structures and the other aspects of this bill.
The market structures. Don't let that guy talk anymore. Take that mic away.
Don't let him talk no more, Rip.
As a part of this push, given the concerns
Changes the anti-money laundering laws.
crypto sector and beyond, and the broader concerns about money transmitter licenses and the
Money
sensitivities of AML.
Good question.
We're certainly open for discussion. One of the things that the subcommittee will take a look at is the whole playing field. I mean, at the end of the day, to get all of our members on board, we're going to have to be open to comments and thoughts on the issue. I think we're in a good place. The Bank Secrecy Act is something that we've discussed with the other side. They have a focus on it. I think that the broader conversation should not be about digital assets alone. It's about bad actors doing bad things by any means necessary. And so having that conversation from a panoramic view and not simply from an digital asset perspective is going to be important for us to get to the
The glitter marches is facts. Facts.
We would like to get to the beginning of this
I
conversation.
would add, having been the subcommittee chair in the last Congress, and Brian Stiles is going to have that mission this time. He'll do an excellent job, I think, on the market structure bill and the stablecoin bill as it relates to the security aspects of it. We were very sensitive in the 118th Congress about the law enforcement aspects of digital assets. Not any different than we are about any other means of transfer of or payment method, whether you're talking about cash or the ACH system or real-time payments. This is an important point. I agree with Senator Scott completely. We'll listen to our members. But in the drafts that we pro-offered last year that, as I say, we had bipartisan support for, they had strict AML standards in them for this digital arrangement for digital assets that are not unlike the requirements out in the analog financial services space. It's why we call the bills fit for purpose, because this is not an intermediated form of finance anymore, and so these laws have to reflect how transactions are conducted. But it's AML and BSA are important for every member on both sides of the Capitol.
No wonder nothing ever gets done in government.
Both the stablecoin and the FIT bills last year. I'm just curious this year whether you have any idea of the timeline when you expect to get those worked through Congress, and then also could this ride along anything like the Farm Bill, for instance, given the agriculture connection?
Oh my God, the audio is so bad for them. Oh man.
Well, we have to work on getting the Farm Bill, and we're going to do that. The time-wise, I think one of the most important things we're doing now, with every Congress, we have new members that retire or are defeated, and we have new members coming in. So we're starting that now and have started member education. And quite honestly, crypto is not the easiest thing to wrap your mind around. Not everyone comes into Congress with a good, full understanding and a thorough knowledge. And so member education is what our first goal is here. And then how it times up, it is, I think we've shown the ability to be able to move a market structures bill, well, FIT 21 as a whole, out of the House in the past. I think we're probably in a really good position to.
Let's see. Glitter Marshmallow says they talk without saying anything. Yeah, they're just wasting time. They're just fitting airspace basically. Basically adding up. They're not saying anything specific. They're just wasting time basically. That's what they're supposed to do.
Things done. My theory is the first 100 days of a new administration is important. On the Senate side, my goal is to be as aggressive as possible to achieve an objective of having bills through the Senate in 100 days.
Just to go back to Emily's question on this and combine it with timing, Maeve, is here's the way to think about it. We did a lot of work in the 118th Congress in the House. So we're prepared to move forward in the House Financial Services Committee, and I won't speak for Chairman Thompson, by introducing legislation or having discussion drafts of our legislation, attaching those to a set of committee hearings. But it's exactly as GT points out. We have new members. We've got to do new member education. And so we have to level set here. This is why Chairman Bozeman and Chairman Scott have stepped up digital assets at a subcommittee level to bring members along and do that member education here in the Senate, something that in the House, we had the benefit, obviously of 2 Congresses working on that. So I think a key element now, though, is the education and technical assistance that can be provided to members both in the House and Senate from the executive branch now as President Trump's leadership posts are confirmed, and key among them is his AI and crypto advisor, David Sachs. And David, would you want to speak to this issue of helping members?
Here we go. David Sachs back on. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So this is what we're here for, and I actually did a session even before the start of this Congress with Speaker Johnson. We did a great sort of open dialogue with members of the House in that case, and I think part of what we're here to do is provide resources on education. Some of them can be outside advisors, kind of luminaries in the industry, and we're talking to a lot of those people. And then, I'm also available anytime to talk to members about this. It can, crypto can be an esoteric subject, and it is good to explain it, to kind of demystify it, because I think once you understand that, you've kind of got the cryptocurrency itself, like Bitcoin, but then what it really runs on are blockchains, which are just distributed ledgers. It's really a new type of decentralized computing platform, and there's a lot of things that can be built on that computing platform. So in any event, we're happy here to provide those resources to help explain it, both on Capitol Hill and beyond.
That was the first intelligent thing we've heard since he spoke in the beginning.
Thanks for doing this. Senator Hagerty is out with a stablecoin bill today. Given that that's out there and that there's been more consensus in the past on stablecoins as opposed to market structure, do you plan to move first on stablecoins ahead of market structure? And relatedly, to what extent in both of these processes do you plan to engage Democrats versus going at it alone now that you have the trifecta?
Yeah. So the bill's out, as you know. We have been working with Democrats already on the bill. You'll see co-sponsors will line up on both sides. Good news is that the bill is moving quickly. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at a place where you see very little bipartisan coalition building. The members of the committee, as well as folks like Gillibrand off the committee, are very anxious to have a win in this digital space. And so for the first time in a long time, there's a reason to take a deep breath and release it, because the legislation moving forward very quickly is happening. Good news is they have had, as French said, a lot of time working on the legislation as well. Finding the places where there are disagreement will be the key for us getting it to the president's desk, and that's where I think the task happens next, is to take a look at the component parts of Hagerty's stablecoin bill. But that's what we're moving first, is stablecoins.
I'm not sure they know
in the
what
House,
that
and I'll
means.
speak for the Financial Services Committee and
I'm
then
not
yield to my
convinced.
friend GT. We're proposing that we'll essentially move the stable coins and a FIT 21 type structure, as I've now answered that question 2 or 3 times, on a similar track, meaning we're going to begin that process where we left off in the 118th Congress. And we worked hand in glove diligently with our colleagues on the Democratic side of the aisle in the House. Many of the ideas that are reflected in
let's see. Tiny says Twitch live down. Yeah, the program we're using went down again, so we're just gonna have to use YouTube again because the servers went down, so we can't stream on X or Twitch. We're on streaming on YouTube at this moment until the servers come back up. So yeah, it is. Yo, hope you're doing good, Tiny. Let's see. Alexi says, "Shut up, donks." This donks. Hope you're doing good, Alexi K. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Let him talk anyway. Please just let David Sachs field all the questions. These people are cool.
Let's see. Tata says, oh, okay, yeah. The struggle's real. Let's see. Alexi says, when they more talk, the more down. Yeah, they talk more, the more we go down. I know, right? The struggle is real. Let's see what happens. Hope y'all doing good. It's all good. It's all good.
So one of the things that the president instructed us to do was to evaluate the idea for a Bitcoin reserve, and so that is one of the things. That's one of the first things we're going to look at as part of the internal working group in the administration. So as soon as we get all that set up, we're still waiting for some cabinet secretaries who are on the working group to get confirmed. So we're still in the very early stages of this. But that's one of the first things we're gonna look at is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. I think the concept of the sovereign wealth fund is a little separate, and you'd have to talk to Secretary Lutnick, or soon to be Secretary Lutnick, about that.
Thank you all very much.
Well, that was a rug. Here's our takeaways, guys. Not much.
Okay, so that was interesting. Tiny September. Oh, let's see what happens. We're moving up. Let's see what happens.
Once. Clearly not a surprise to any of us. Every other human being that spoke.
Let's see. Alexis says manipulation level expert. All right, let's see what happens.
Anything going on. They looked like a kid lost in a supermarket. Like, what's going on? Where's my mommy? Good news. Here is the positives. Extremely bullish rhetoric. Extremely bullish rhetoric. Extremely bullish for crypto. And good news. The bullish good news. David Sachs seems to know what he's talking about. I do not hate him being in charge. Absolutely everyone else who spoke can just disappear from this conversation. But David Sachs, I'm going to have to look into him more. He seems to be someone who knows what they're doing. And that's really, really rare in crypto, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in, joining us last second. I almost dropped the ball here. I'm glad we covered this. We definitely will cover. We're going to add, you know what, officially, we're going to add David Sachs' speeches to our Chirpow campaign following, whatever we want to call it. Whenever he speaks, we will cover it from now on until he proves not valuable. I think that is a good move here for us. If you haven't subscribed, join us. We are live here all the time on YouTube. We've been live for 6 years. We give you the knowledge, the alpha that you need, the good stuff. We're a great community. Jump into our Discord. We're going to be live again tomorrow for some analysis, some live trading. If you haven't checked out our new trading group, check it out.
Let's see. Lexi K says, Dogecoin to the moon, with or without you. Your facts. Let's go. Your facts. That's a fact.
Limited time, but for everyone who's been.
Let's see. Alexis says, hey, yo, cheers, everybody. Yo, legit. Hey, yo, cheers, everybody. Yo, cheers. Cheers, beautiful. Definitely cheers, my love. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was legit. Hope y'all doing good, Joe. Hell yeah.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m. East, we'll have more updates. This was largely nothing burger as we expected, but I am glad that David Sachs, who I really don't know anything about him, is at the helm of this. He's the first government official I've ever heard say anything that has convinced me they know anything about.
Let's see. DJ Gizmo says, Heart W Dream. Yo, W, y'all. Hope y'all doing good. Yo, legit. Let's see. DJ Gizmo, so get through this. Yo, facts. We will get through this. Ain't no worries. We will definitely get through this and get to the top with no problem. No problem. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think did he just stop his stream? Says DJ Gizmo says, Rockets. Yo, he did stop his stream. Like, what the hell? Oh, I guess he like stopped the stream like mid-sentence, like with the cheese fries. Alright, that really didn't do much, to be honest. Alright, let's see if anybody else saying anything while we see what's going on. Let's see, DJ Gizmo says, what's the bottom you think it can go to? Probably test 20 cents again. Possibly. Worst case scenario. That's literally worst case. DJ Gizmo, I hope no lower than 20. Agreed, I hope no longer than 20. No lower than 20. But worst case scenario, 20 cents. I mean, that's just 6 pennies away. So, and we're 4 pennies away from 30 cents. So, Anything could happen. Anything could happen. So we're still holding through no matter what. We're still holding through. No matter what. No matter what, chat. Hope y'all doing good. Alright, let's see what this person's saying. Let's see what this person's saying. Alright, legit.
Boeing, for example, half of the revenue Boeing makes is from the government. Stock sucks anyway. It's not a good example, but maybe there's other ones that could be very important to the future of the government. And of course, Bitcoin, Cynthia Lema said that will be part of the Sovereign Wealth Fund as well. Tomorrow, a lot of movement on Solana. By the way, on Solana, there's an 86% chance that the ETF will be approved this year. Futures are coming in a month or so. And then the ETF will be a foregone conclusion. Sometimes what happens is the whales fill their boots so they can distribute to the ETFs when the time comes. They act like a mini OTC market as well. Investment Eagle, if Tesla goes to 600, why is one thing? Hang on a second. Investment Eagle, if Tesla goes to 600 year end, is it not a good time to swap some Bitty since it has to go over 150 at least to equal this? Investment Eagle, this is a great question. So important. Let me see if I can actually share my chart, because then we can look at a chart of that live too. So I look at the pair all the time of Tesla and MicroStrategy, and it hit 0.91 this morning. It's probably down lower because Tesla, it's 0.8946. Let me see if I can share this chart. Boom, 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 boom. Bear with me 1 second. So this is really kind of what to look for. Hold on. Screen share.
Let's see. Alexi K says, "Yo, cheers, everybody! Yo, cheers! Beer time with friends. Keep in touch. Dream. Let's go, Doge. Let's go. Hope we good. Yeah, we good. Everything is all good. Everything is all good. Hey, yo, cheers, everybody! Yo, cheers, cheers, beautiful. Devin, cheers, my love. Hell yeah, hell yeah." Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Patience pays. Patience pays. Hey, no worries. Hope y'all doing good. Booga booga. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
7.7. That's a good time to basically move positions. And when it gets too high, this is when you go from Tesla into MicroStrategy. But if you're already in MicroStrategy, you're kind of boxed in. And up at the top is when you go from MicroStrategy into Tesla. So we'll wait for those moments and we'll watch this chart very, very carefully. Doom, I'm back. Let me see. Never seen a bunch of time wasters in high government. Oh, hey Rob, you were seeing some of the good guys there. Is that one with the cat, the App Store? I don't know. Thoughts on Nosana's mainnet launch? I'll be talking about that. Nosana's mainnet launch was good, and the cost per million tokens is actually beats Amazon Web Services. So Nosana is coming back. I still hold, by the way. So we'll see. What do you expect from Jason V? What do you expect for Sol following ETF approval? Similar Bitcoin or different? I think initially it takes time for these things to be digested. If the crypto market is going bonkers, Sol ETF will go bonkers too. I think net will be a very good thing. But remember, you got to remember, nearly 70% of all Solana is staked. 28% of all ETH is staked. So it's if you want to grab your hands on a big bag of Solana, it's going to be hard to unravel. So that's a kind of a cool thing. David Hamilton, James, I saw your post on houses on Patreon. Do you think...
Let's see, DJ Gizmo says, GOAT. Y'all are the GOAT. Y'all are good. Hell yeah. Let's get a chat. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is a very interesting situation. We have a problem where salaries, we're not able to keep up with inflation. Real estate does. But now we've got the double whammy where salaries are much lower. The average median salary is much lower than the average median price, and affordability is at an all-time high. For this to be fixed, we need mortgage rates to come down to around 4.5%. Currently in California, they're around 7%. So they need to fall 250 basis points. Then that will enable the people who want to sell and move to be able to sell their homes because they can list them now, but nobody can afford them. Between 40 and 60% of homes that are in a sales contract fall through because people can't get a mortgage or they can't afford it or they don't pass the credit stringent standards of the banks to pay for the mortgage. And the average median wealth now required to buy an average median home is $120,000, which is bonkers. Absolutely crazy. So let me jump into a couple more questions. Market about to tank like a rock. Market has already tanked like a rock. You're a little late there. So if anything, Bitcoin will hover around 99K, 98.5. Just remember where we were a few days ago. Bitcoin fell to 92K, last all the way to 90K just a couple of days ago, which is crazy. So watch for that too. Move scale to the right. All right. James, do you think from Clapso? James, do you think buying the assets that you personally have, which you post on Patreon, would be a good way to start investing as someone who just turned 18? Well, if you're young, like one of the things I'll share tomorrow is some of the very conservative price targets for Bitcoin. By 2030, it starts at 300 grand. So you guaranteed, if Bitcoin survives, $300,000 Bitcoin. So that's a 3x from here, not too much. But if you look at something like Tesla, that'll go probably somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000 by 2030. That's a lot more multiple. Now, the bull case for Bitcoin is $1 million by 2030, maybe higher, maybe 1.5 million. So, you know, the idea is to manage risk and return. You're very young at 18. You can take on a lot of risk, but you can also blow up your bag and go back to zero. So the way I kind of see things is when you're starting out, it's like a big curve. When you have very little to lose, you can take on a lot more risk. When you start getting to the middle wealth area, you have a bag, you have security. You don't want to lose that.
Let's see. DJ Gizmo says all this money's gonna flow into Doge. Gonna be crazy. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Not too much risk when you're in the middle. So think about that during your life as you go forward. That's the way I look at things. And I'll give you another example. That if you have family and kids and responsibilities and overhead, you're going to have to take a very safe job and watch every penny you have, etc. So we'll see. Vadia 2000, do you think altcoin holders have hope? Interesting. Alt season has happened in different areas at different times. I still think Solana's trading at a PE of 30, which is silly cheap. And yeah, I think there will be an alt season. There always is. How dramatic it'll be will depend. I also believe that if all the strategic Bitcoin reserves come, and the pensions come, and the nation states come, etc., Bitcoin is going to be very scarce, and it could do very well. It could continue to outperform. That's why I'm very heavy in things like Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. But we'll see. Remember, alts are very expensive, and 99.5% of them are complete garbage. Does James invest in some de-aging tech today? He looks younger. Yes, a razor blade. Shaved. Make sure my face. Wintermute flushing again. Exactly, Sergey. Very good observation. Wintermute is doing the flush because what they do is they wait for a piece of macro bad news. And then they wait for the market just to tip down a little bit, tick down a little bit. And then they pile on and they drive it down. They drive it down hard. So, let's see. Ali Shahabi, would you buy CleanSpark at this price? 30% shorted before earnings and Bitcoin up 30K since last report. Miners are super risky. I did look at their performance returns this morning. They mined, I think, about 636 Bitcoin, and they're over 40 exahash. So they're actually doing pretty good. I still believe they are the leanest, meanest miner, but all miners are killing themselves. I'll talk about that in Octa tomorrow, how the hash rate is at another new all-time high. It is crazy. So all they're all doing is cutting each other's throats. So it's tough to see how you go forward. Linda, thank you for coming as well. I was $1 away from losing it all on my Sol perp. When do you think Sol will break 230 again? I mean, last weekend. Let's check the chart. This has been a violent one. Let me pop this up so we can kind of get a feel for what's going on. Oh, that's a big dip on Sol too. Hold on. See if I can share this chart. Share screen. Is that sharing? Yeah, I hope so. So let's look at a couple of things. Let's go out. Let's zoom out to the 4 hour to get a good macro perspective of where we are. And let's throw on. Let's turn this off and look at the confluence model. And let's go into the 1 hour. Try to get a better vision of where we're going. So pretty clearly from here, if I draw a little line, excuse my crude drawing, but what you can see here is a pretty good level of support. So if you see Sol anywhere down around 180, it's a no-brainer to buy. It just bounces off that. Up here, it was very overbought. Let's go to the 15-minute. See, well, the sell signal happened earlier. And then the 5-minute is what I used to use for perping a lot until everybody gets smashed. So if you're on the 5-minute chart, it's very volatile. And what I like to do is watch what the market is doing, and that tells you a window of where things are going. But this is so manipulated. This is so dumped on by market makers. It's really difficult to play. If you are in a big perp, anything more than 5x, you will be hunted. If you're only moving like less than 100 Sol around, they don't care. But if you are in a big position, they'll come and hunt you out. So this is interesting. Just looking where we are right now. There's another interesting factor is during the week, crypto sucks. And normally it moves at the weekends unless it's very bad macro news. Like DeepSeek, like tariffs, which happened the last 2 weekends. They smashed our weekends. Normally weekends are positive. But during the week, things kind of suck a little bit too. So we'll see what happens. I think the market just needs to digest this stuff. I think what Sachs said regarding the reserve that will be analyzed is exactly what we expected. And they'll have to move fast. If they announce to the world that they're building a Bitcoin reserve, the price of Bitcoin will go to the moon. From Renaissance Gamer, any chance that MicroStrategy switches to FASB rules? I think possibly. If not this quarter, I think the earnings are out tomorrow or something, or the day after. If not, then next quarter for sure. It's too much gravy to leave on the table. And that will wake up the world to the power of Bitcoin and earnings. But remember, it's also a double-edged sword. So if Bitcoin goes back to $70,000, they'll have a horrible report for a quarter on losses marking to market. Hi James, thanks for the work you do. What do you think of Sol centralization in terms of usage, centralizing companies like AWS or Google Cloud for validation purposes? That's not the way it works. The validators are all over the country. The place that has concentration for centralization is Ethereum. They are all on AWS and Google Cloud. Right now, per the data I look at, Solana is actually far more decentralized. You need to take over, I think, 1,600 or 1,800 validators to control Solana, but you can do that with 3 networks on Ethereum now as well. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. That's not going to have a $70,000 Bitcoin. So the reason MJBO123, the reason I say $70,000 Bitcoin is because when you take the Bitcoin price right before the presidential election, which is $70,000, Bitcoin never falls below that price ever again. Okay, so that's the floor. $70,000 is the floor unless something really, really bad happens. If history repeats. So 70,000, that's why it's magical. Clovado, I was like 20 cents away from getting liquidated on my Sol for the second person Sunday. I bought more Solana to add with a 2x leverage to lower my liquidation point. Luckily, I closed in profit. That's exactly what you do. Don't let the liquidators get you. Add more, even add a 1.1x just to reduce your liquidation level. Right now, with Solana, even though 180 is the floor, I wouldn't perp unless I'd had a liquidation level down around 150, 160. So that's just me, though. Where do you eventually see Neptune going to in months and years? It's so difficult to look at Neptune. Let me pull up the ARB model. Let me see if I can share this. I have view only mode. This should be... hold on. Let me share. Boom. Is that working? Hope that's working. So this is Neptune. You can see I'm not logged in, which is good. Where they are now is SpaceX is about 16.9% of their bag, 61% Bitcoin, 11.7% Sol, and the NAV premium is about 2.4x. But a lot of people are playing this for SpaceX exposure, which is an important thing to have, especially with this current administration, because who knows? There'll be less working with Boeing to strand pilots in space, and they might much more working with SpaceX. So it could be good, and the future is extremely bright, especially with Starlink. I mean, Starlink is now running on over 300 aircraft around the world, all the big, best airlines. For the first time ever, you can now go on an airplane and you can send an email. You can even do a Zoom call. Heaven forbid anybody would do that, but it's going to be huge. That's the big play here for Neptune, which I think is fascinating. They should get rid of the other trash, but I do like this bag. If I had to pick one, you know, Sol, Bitcoin, SpaceX. The reason I own Neptune is for SpaceX exposure. I find it to be the best. And instead of buying, imagine you're buying 17% of SpaceX in a portfolio. I don't have to own 83% of crap. Okay, over 90% of this bag is Sol, Bitcoin, and SpaceX, which I like. So that's why I'm good with it, even if there is a premium. Do you expect Jupiter Perps to get better at filling orders? Yeah, I did a video on how to get your Jupe orders filled. You just got to play with the actual validator. Let me try and pull it up, and I'll show you what to do. Actually, I'm not even on this, but you got to play with the validator. Your RPC endpoint, I go with Helios RPC1 because you can get filled at 90 milliseconds, and then turn up your slippage a bit. Then you always get a fill. Okay. You pay to play. If you go in chintzy, you'll be boxed out. I don't play any of the MicroStrategy leverage funds at all. Lack of patience is mind-boggling. Ashley DeJager, thank you for that question. Lack of patience. People are incredible. I mean, we're basically at $100,000 Bitcoin, and people are frustrated. Let's check on the Bitcoin price, see if there's any lag reaction. 98,400. Nothing much. Marinade, that's good. I don't actually own any Marinade, but I think the three best Sol alts from my perspective are Jupiter, Nosana, and Radium, because that's where all the money is made. That's where all the money's potentially going as well, and AI as well. Where can I buy a Neptune? Neptune is an OTC desk. If you're in Canada, it's NDA is the ticker. .cn, and in United States, pink slip OTC, it's NPPTF, I think, going from memory here. And who's the winner? The boy. Let's take a couple more questions then we wrap up, so I can get back to work. Thoughts on Palantir? So Palantir, very good question, is one of those things that defies logic. It's kind of like XRP and Cardano. The guru-focused Palantir value is $19. And the trade's at a PE of like 536. You know, but what's exciting about Palantir is if that's what they're valued at, and you got Tesla trading at a PE of around 40, it means Tesla is extremely undervalued too. So that's the positive one there too. Another MicroStrategy, Sol strategies, opportunity on the horizon. Keith Hyde, I always look for them. As soon as I find something very interesting, I jump in and I let you know real time on Patreon too. Ondo is one of those that is quite incredible. I covered Ondo in a Q&A. Tokenomics are not good. Is IA apologist here? I need to publish my steps as well. And one more try. What about DXYZ for US-based exposure to SpaceX? The allocation isn't enough. Let me check on the DXYZ allocation. And the fees are high. I've checked them all. I checked the ARC one, etc. Destiny Tech Fund it is. They have about 34%. in SpaceX. But again, it's the other stuff that I don't like in the fund. That's the problem. So that's why I like Neptune, because the other stuff is good and you don't pay fees. So, H-bar, that's an interesting one. Not my cup of tea. And they don't publish their data like all the other chains. So we'll see. I don't like them for many reasons. I've made many videos on them as well. Thank you, Sean Donnelly, as well. Shall we abandon helium? I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a long time. Zeus, that's Marty's favorite. It's still so small. They're not quite doing the type of stuff that I'd imagined. And we'll see. MicroStrategy is interesting. Again, he said he didn't buy. I think he didn't buy because he said he's hodling. I think he didn't buy because he's in the quiet period before earnings where you're not allowed to buy. He has issued a bunch of the preferred stock. So he has a big bag of cash, and he did ATM, I think, Monday and Tuesday last week, going by the charts I was looking at. So he will be buying as soon as the earnings are over. So expect a big bid coming in on Bitcoin to the tune of $500 million at least. I was all happy with Sol at 218 bucks. Yeah, that's crazy because Solana was at 218 a few hours ago. Not even. But that's just it. Just play the volatility and have fun. Be safe out there. Don't get liquidated ever. Free plan. Yes. If you're on the free plan, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually have a helium phone. It's a burner. I have it with my Saga or the Solana phone as well. What's with GSOL? Anything grayscale, any grayscale Sol fund is garbage. Just remember that. They do not run good funds. Are we still retiring on 400 Sol? Well, Van Eck believes Sol will go to 3,200, and there's another firm that came out. I think it's part of the Multicoin Capital. They say it go to 6,000. So, to give that a haircut, Sol's going to 2,000. 400 Sol is 800 grand. So, not bad. Not bad at all. PayPal is old technology. I don't like old technology. I like new disruptive technology. Yeah, memes are memes. Memes are very dangerous. Does Jupiter have leveraged Sol token to trade PTOS? Yes. Within Jupiter, you can just tweak it. So, like you can pick any amount. Let me see. Yeah, if I pop it open now, you'll see my Jupiter, which is weird. Anyway, I did give an update, Amir, a very big update. I update everything. Doesn't America already have a Bitcoin reserve from Silk Road? Yes, they have, I think, 200,000 Bitcoin or something. They are one of the biggest hodlers on Earth. And hopefully that'll be rolled into the Bitcoin reserve for the US as well. Unless, of course, they have to give it back to Silk Road too. And do you think Sol gets to 1,000 2025? No, I don't. That'd be crazy. Wormhole? Yeah, Wormhole apparently is doing RWA stuff with BlackRock. Lots of articles on that. So we'll see. And Render, NOS and Render, I own them both still. And they both work together. So we'll see. We've got to wait for that whole space to come back. As narratives go, it's not going well right now. The narrative is still like store of value, centralized exchanges that are doing well. Nice. Marley, if Sol gets to 500, I can retire. Good. It might be a while. I do see us getting to 300 plus 360. Easy. What does David Sachs talk? He said they will be investing in a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And that's it. Sol target for 2025, 360 at least. Maybe higher. But I always sandbag stuff as well. Will you long Sol? If Jim Cramer says anything positive about an asset, that's when you short it. Because he is perfectly right. Inversely. All of the time. So, final question, then I'll go. Going to buy Stark. Forgot about crypto till 2028. Stark is the new MicroStrategy dividend stock, and it pays, I think, 8 or 10%. That will be available at the end of the month. I think that'll be an interesting one to look at too. I don't like Coinbase shares. I don't like Coinbase. Never did. Never will. And thank you again to Sean Donnelly and Team D Tesla and everybody else. ETH target. I don't look at ETH. ETH is it's old technology. Be with the new technology, everybody. Don't cling on to old stuff. A MicroStrategy target's a function of Bitcoin. I did a video on that about a week or two ago with all those targets for the portfolio. All right, everybody, I gotta go. I'm running out of steam. And yeah, just look at the data of Ethereum. Look at the relative value. So Solana now earns nearly 3 times the money. It has nearly 10 times the users. And Base is a private chain that does a lot of the activity on ETH on a layer 2 basis. It just doesn't make any sense. It's completely overvalued, so that's it. Be with the new technology. Always be on the new technology. Be in it before it actually pumps. That's so important as well. Jim, thank you so much, everybody. You take care of yourselves. Sorry about the nothing burger, but you can't say it wasn't expected. So I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll do an early morning octa. So be ready for that.
Completely. $10 price target gets us to a $31 billion market cap, 615% move. I think this thing is going to be a top 10. I mean, dare I say that it could get to $30? Is that crazy? Like, could we see a 20x in Ondo?